Hi guys, Nicola here, body confidence coach and healer. I am somewhere on the M6 in between Newcastle and Nottingham. I'm on my way to Belvoir Castle. It's spelled Belvoir, but apparently it is pronounced Beaver, and I am going to do a Burning Woman festival. It's my first time at Burning Woman, so I thought I would make a little vlog because, as usual, I am having a lot of downloads happen whilst I'm driving. I'm listening to Gabor Mate, The Myth of Normal, and I'm going through an experience in my life right now where I'm in the middle of healing. I just had a healing session Thursday night and it's still with me, and I wanted to share because currently I'm reading a couple of books that the same things are coming up for me in both books. I'm reading Integrity, so The Way of Integrity, and I'm reading or listening to the Gabor Mate, The Myth of Normal. And both of them really are about returning to your true self, your authenticity, being in integrity. And it's funny that whenever I seem to read a book, it seems to reflect in my reality. The same as when I ran my body confidence course, each week of the body confidence course, I was being reminded of the work that I had put into the course so that I could empathize with the people on the course and we could go through it together. It's so profound and it's just crazy, but also not, once you get used to this kind of thing happening where you are literally the creator of your reality. And this whole week I've been going through something kind of in turmoil in my brain, thinking, what can I do about it? It's such a big problem. It involves legal stuff. It's so much weight on my shoulders. It's so heavy and I'm so responsible, and I just wish I could be a little girl again and have my dad take care of it for me and just look after me. And I, with one of my amazing friends who's also a healer, we dove a little bit deeper into that topic and discovered a part of me that I was rejecting. And literally this just came up in the Gabor Mate book as well, about rejected parts. Now he was talking about another guy who named his parts soldiers, and he named them soldiers after the Japanese soldiers who went into hiding to escape the war. They were in hiding for so long that they didn't realise that the war had finished, and so basically the outside reality had changed and they were still in this place thinking that the war was going on. And that's exactly what was happening to my part, or your parts, the parts that are always rejected, the parts that are pushed aside and triggers come up and then you realise they're there through the triggers. So this feeling that I had, this overwhelming weight on my shoulders and responsibility, came from a part of me that had that at a young age. And what I needed to do was, once she'd come up and all of the emotions that came up with it, it's again really heavy, it's really painful to go there, and I'm still feeling the repercussions of this healing session. She's still with me now, this part. I haven't fully been able to give her the time because she needs longer. I've been to parts before and I've sat with them for a few hours, I've done healing with them and they've been fine, and I've just got on with my merry way. And this part, not that she's stopping me from getting on my life, she's with me getting on with my life. She's coming with me to this weekend, and it's quite interesting that everything happens for a reason. You are always where you're meant to be, and I'm going to Burning Woman. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that I'm going to be in a space full of amazing souls, amazing women who are doing amazing work in the world, me included, and it's going to be a continued journey of this part of me that is coming with me. For some reason she's coming with me for this weekend to continue the healing. So I can't remember what I was going to say on that now. Oh yeah, the penny drop. This feeling that I have here, it's so warm and it's magical, because I realised the reason I'm a body confidence coach, the reason I teach women self-defense, the reason I'm so passionate about helping people to get out of pain, because I was in so much pain, is because of my trauma. And because this part that I'm healing right now is huge, it's kind of exciting that when I heal this, what does that mean for me? If my trauma is what led me to the job that I do, to what I felt like is my purpose on this earth, without that, what would I be? And it feels like an aha moment. I could do anything. I could completely change my career. I might not be calling myself a body confidence coach in the next video. You know, the world is my oyster. I can literally be anything, do anything, have anything, because all that was in the way was trauma. If you look at your life right now, where are you and what led you to do that? What is your why, your reason for doing it? And it's so interesting how we choose these paths and our careers and surround ourselves with certain people because of our trauma and our beliefs. And now I'm just like, wow, I know everything that's been limiting me has been because of this, and I'm excited that freedom that I'm about to have. I feel like the band has been pulled back, and I'm right here, and I'm feeling everything, and I'm healing it, and I'm accepting of everything. It's all good. There's loads of tears, there's loads of pain, but it's okay. Oh, it's okay. And when I let go, I'm going to accelerate into everything that I've ever dreamed, things that I don't even know that I'm going to dream of yet, because even my dreams, the things that I've wanted, have been because of the trauma. Does that make sense? So anyway, I just wanted to share this on the beginning side of Burning Woman, because I'd love to share at the end how the festival's been and just see what experience it's been for me. So I'm just being real and authentic in the moment and just sharing that. So bye for now. So the first person I met at the festival was the Copperfield people. Go check them out. And then this amazing woman called the Queen Bee Danny, whose talk was actually very similar to mine, and she shared her body image journey and then her song, which made me cry.
Taken more than I gave them. It's not easy to know I'm not anything like I used to be, although it's true I was never attention sweet center. I still remember that girl who's imperfect, but she tries. She is good, but she lies. She is hard on herself.
So for all the speakers and performers, we had a little green room tent, which was awesome. So in this tent we had lovely snacks and drinks and a nice place to sit and chill before we go on stage. This is how I set up the stage just before my talk. Unfortunately didn't get any pictures or videos. So you can have some nakedness instead. So as you can hear, Burning Woman at night is full of chants and drums and music. Here's me getting into the nature after a lovely sauna. And this is my lovely bed. Check out this bleeding space. All weekend I've been having these numbers. So here's 2 hours 22 minutes, and the next time I checked 1 hour 11 minutes. It's literally been happening all weekend. Hey guys, so I am home from Burning Woman, still in the car. It is absolutely chucking it down outside with rain, which is how it was the whole of Saturday. Today the weather was actually beautiful. There was lovely sunshine and I managed to do some amazing workshops. So in 2 days, the first day I was a little bit unsure when I first got there because it was a huge festival and all of the tents seemed to be quite far away from each other. So I didn't really see anyone to welcome me, to tell me where I was going to go or anything. And before I'd got there was a lot of people talking in the WhatsApp group and I wasn't really sure what was happening. But I thought, when I get there, it'll be fine. I'll meet someone, they'll show me where to go or whatever. And no one really knew when my workshops were going to be. And what it said online was different to what it said in the booklet and so on. But it all worked out fine. But sadly, because it was so raining, there wasn't that many people for my talk because the talk was on a huge stage and they had a big outdoor area and then they had a tent behind that, which was quite far away, so you couldn't really see people's facial expressions. But we had a few benches on the stage, so we allowed people to come and sit on the stage and I could talk directly to them, and that was great. And as I always say, who's meant to be there will be there. And I had really good feedback from the talk. There was people in the talk who needed to hear it. And there was one lady who was an older lady, I don't know how old she was, but she told me that she'd had issues with food, been a binge eater and weighing herself since she was 15. And she was asking me about metabolism, and I managed to share her questions with the group. But it just really makes me sad that people of any age, but especially if you've spent many, many years living your life this way. She said one morning she weighed herself 5 times before 8:30 in the morning. This is so sad. This is not a life. This is why I'm doing this work, because I need to help people overcome body image and food issues. Explain to me where it came from. It doesn't actually matter about your body image, you see. You can live that life in whatever body and not like it your whole life and struggle with food and stepping on the scales and everything. So it literally does not matter. But there seemed to be a huge overriding theme of the weekend about body image. And we did quite a few things naked, which was lovely and wonderful. And I met some amazing, beautiful women. Like we went in the sauna naked, we sang songs, we went into the lake, and it was beautiful, apart from the leeches that were getting all over us. We were cracking up in the sauna, laughing about having leeches up our vaginas. Fortunately, that didn't happen. And then the next day, today, I started the day with my women's self-defense. I will click to that now. So I taught them about awareness, avoidance, using their voice, and some wrist and throat grabs. Women's self-defense and body confidence really go next to each other, because once you're body confident, you're more able to stand up for yourself, speak up for yourself, you have self-love, and therefore you want to protect yourself. You start setting boundaries and saying no to people. And that is literally self-defense, not just street self-defense. It's defending yourself against everything that you don't want. It's being able to say no to things, say no to people, relationships, things happening within relationships, strangers and partners. It's being able to say no because you are worthy of having and doing and being whatever it is that you want to be as a woman. That is your birthright. So it's learning and coming back to your home, your body, you, who you are. And that was the theme of the weekend. So a lot of women talked about body image, even when it wasn't in my talk. I was sitting in the bleeding space, which is a beautiful tent for women who are menstruating to go and just rest. There was beautiful smells in there. There was chocolate you could eat, and it was all like donation based. It was really nice energy in there. It was so relaxing. It felt hot and you could feel a vibration. It was so interesting because when I first went in there was just one lady in there who was beautiful woman, and she was telling me about her body image issues, and I was looking at her like, how can you have body image issues? You're so beautiful. And I know people do that with me as well, and we're always judging each other's bodies. So you don't know how someone feels, you don't know what's going on for them, because as I always say in talks, it's not actually about your body, it's not actually about your food, it's about what's going on for you inside. After the self-defense, we did this gorgeous workshop where I think they called it the Get Messy workshop, and we poured paint all over us. I've still got some on my face. We put paint all over our naked bodies, and we ran into the middle of the field in front of everyone and took pictures in front of the Burning Women sign. But before we did that, each and every person in the circle shared their story about their body image, and it really touched me. Everyone had something that I could relate to, and there was a lot of trauma. There was a lot of child abuse, sexual abuse, domestic violence, domestic abuse, personal abuse, abusing our own bodies, infertility, cosmetic surgery, being bullied about your body, so many things. And I related to all of them. And it felt like, it's so nice when, this is why I am vulnerable when I do my talks and I tell people my story, because I feel like when you go first, it allows others to go next. And in this space, I was the last person into the group. So it became a safe space for me to share without having to teach, just be vulnerable. And I actually felt quite teary and emotional. And I was sharing how, as I said at the beginning video before the weekend, how I feel like all of the trauma led me to do the work that I'm doing, and what will I be without it? So once I've healed, and I don't think there's an end destination, by the way, I can do anything. And I'm really starting to think about being creative and doing more things to do with that. I also met some amazing women at the weekend to do with public speaking and my book. And I'm feeling really, really pulled to that. I want to get my book out there and I want to do more public speaking. So I'm hoping that these connections lead to something. It's always great to get out and meet people and connect, and we can all help each other in some way. And every conversation you have, you were meant to hear. So I'm sure I've helped some people with the things I've said, and everybody that I spoke to helped me in a certain way as well. So here's a little snippet of my weekend at Burning Women. It's day 2 in the Burning Woman house. Look at the beautiful nature. I decided to park my car down the end. There's lots of camping people this way. Sounds of people. Oh, look at this beautiful thing I bought for my hair. I might wear that today. Oh, it was quite warm in the car. I have my little kettle that I bought and a lovely hot water bottle. So I was cuddling that all night, so that was nice and warm. Final thing to say on Burning Women Festival. I heard a lot of talk about witches and the history of women. We have lived in our grandma's womb when we were an egg. So trauma gets passed down through women, especially men as well, but especially through women, because we've been in our grandma's bodies and experienced what they experienced. And there was a time that witches were burned, and there are some conflicts between women. And I originally thought it's heterosexual women who are fighting over men that end up in conflict because they compare their bodies. It's who's the prettier one, who's going to get the male, who's going to attract that person. Some of it is actually the witch wounds. The wounds where we were going to be burned as witches, and as a survival mechanism we pointed to another woman and said it's her, and named and shamed and protected ourselves so that we could survive. So some of that is deep rooted within us, the witch wound, and that is why some women still fight and have conflict with each other. Some women came to Burning Women Festival and said to me that they were worried about being in a space full of women. They were worried that it wouldn't be safe for them, or that there'd be this conflict. And it's the complete opposite of how I felt, and it's the complete opposite to what happened. I actually felt, being with loads of women, it was really safe. Just safe to be yourself, your emotional self, your bleeding self. Like, every part of you was welcome. And the way that you speak about how you feel, about being vulnerable, about your trauma, about your healing journey, it was all welcome and responded with others. Or maybe those are the conversations I have, because you're always attracting the right thing that reflects what you're going through. So it was just wonderful. And lots of laughs as well, in the sauna especially, with all the naked women. So a really lovely weekend. And now I'm home, so I feel a little bit more grounded. I also connected with nature and did some paddle boarding, which was lovely. I've never done that before.